order. It is Monday, July 14th, 2025. Thanks everybody for being here. We had one person arranged to speak. Greg Petey, is Greg here? I do not see him because there's exactly one person in the room there. And it's Mike, right? Mike, you're on then. And the way we've got it set up now, it's we do limit people to 5 minutes. We think you can sign in after you're done speaking, and we will go from there.
Sure.
All right.
Just to follow up to a couple from other meetings. Apologize, I wasn't here earlier to address them.
Could you just state your name for the record, just so it's on the tape?
Mike List, Bloomington, this is 0313, Fifth Avenue South, Bloomington, 55420. Phone number 952-465-5358. So please reach out. You can call me at any time if there's any questions that you may have. In reference to licensing processes, and I think there's maybe some confusion in comments that I had made, and I just want to be more clear so people are understanding the situation. Been working through the group home licensing process. Been working on that for about 2 years. And emails with no replies, not to you, but to the state. Met with my representative to let him know that I have all of my research, all my information. So was given this contact information, that this would be the person that he would recommend I contact. He's been copied on all of the emails and no response. I believe someone is, just so you understand kind of the roadblocks that residents are running into about these types of conversations. I started to copy more people that represent me so they understood. So I do believe, I don't know who had contacted Bloomington staff for me to meet with, I apologize, I don't remember the sergeant's name, but a very constructive conversation, went very well. But in the end, it's this, when we originally started, we hosted at the location. Everything was there. We've already talked this through. It's more of getting him up to speed, and really my concerns in that area is not only is it to the neighborhood, it's really to the detriment to the people who are being served with many of the issues that we're finding. As in staff not being properly trained, drug use, you name it. I mean, staff members literally passing out. This isn't me, this is in the 911 police logs. So this is all documented. If you need that information, I've got all of it. And those are my concerns, is that really the most vulnerable among us are not being served. And so I just want to reemphasize the position that I'm coming from is not only for the neighborhood, but for the residents that are supposed to be receiving care. And I don't understand how I can see what I see being documented and nothing is being done. To the point where, my neighbor has now moved. He has left. Which then gets me to the second point, in that, in licensing and zoning. Many times in the zoning ordinances, we simply say there'll be some licensing process. As we are loosening our R1 characteristics and what we're, missing middle and many of the other conversations that are taking place, there also has to be some care given and some constructive feedback or some constructive controls in place to make sure that it's appropriate for everybody. So, I am in a situation where if you think about, the grid, 9 houses, in the middle, 4 of the 8 houses are in some rental licensing situation. One of them being the group home, the other one being the home that was so mismanaged, the other person leaving and now renting it out. So now I have another renter behind me. So that would be a non-owner occupied rental. So what is that? What is that licensing process? What is the feedback for me in being able to approach people if there are issues? It's not clearly defined. There are no definitions of what is allowed and what is not. The house next to me, which is, I have to be very careful there. You have had, as in this city hall has had restraining orders against the individual. And he's a renter, he's a landlord. So now how is someone with this type of history then allowed to license, to be a do these people know what they're getting into? What kind of, situation are they walking into? So that's the house next door to me. Fourth and final example is the house across from me. Non-owner occupied home that was basically a commercial business where they brought in, rented everything out to their crew, and they're running an HVAC operation out of the residency. So my point being, when we're rethinking and reimagining and redreaming what we want Bloomington 2.0 to be, that we as residents have to be, there has to be more to it than there's licensing. And that's all I see. And I get nowhere. And so my point being that we really need to think through these things. There's far more involved than what we're giving credit to. And it's happening in our homes right now. And
you're over time here. I'd love to let you run because we don't have anybody else sitting out there. But I wanted to hear what you had to say. And I appreciate it, and I do appreciate the sentiment that you bring forward. Also, I mean, there's what we're trying to accomplish from a housing standpoint, but then there's also our residents throughout the city who can be impacted in some ways. And so I think we understand and appreciate that. I don't know if in your questions there, if I know you've spoken to our licensing folks and probably the city manager's office and so on. And I don't know if we provided any answers to other than the more esoteric questions that you had, which are good questions. But if there's anything specific about who gets what or how it gets done or anything like that, we can do. I understand.
Because the interaction's always been professional, positive, right? Jamie just reached out via email and, he saw me in the hallway and, verbal conversations, just saying, hey, we're doing what we can, what makes me nervous is that I'm seeing money in this, right? That we're starting to see at the higher levels of our government, I don't want to say attack, but you have lobbyists now at the state which are taking away, our ability to do anything at the local level. And it's, so people are making enough money, they're going to protect that. I can't compete with that. And that's going to get worse. That's not going to get better. And I apologize if I'm running over, but those are the things that make me extremely concerned. And, just weighing the options of is Bloomington long-term for me. Those are legit conversations taking place. And so, I hear you guys talk about your mottos, and I don't want to.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you coming in tonight. Question? Councilmember D'Alessandro?
Yeah.
If I could, just summarizing, I heard 4 different examples, and I think they probably each get a little bit of a different treatment depending upon whether it's a city license. I know we've talked about the group home thing before. I struggle with that too, but the state took away our licensing capabilities there, right? And so that's a frustrating thing. I think we all share it. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I do. As it relates to operating a business within from a residence, I think we have rules in place for that, right? We just need to figure out how to enforce them. And then no,
But also make it aware for us. I mean, how do we reach out?
how do you report that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no visibility to a resident to be able to come forward and work with the city. I mean, you know, it's like a lot of people don't like, I mean, listening sessions, I feel comfortable coming to them. But you've never met the people that actually left, right? And they're extremely frustrated. And they never came to a listening session. And I just kind of told them, I said, you know, I got your back. I'll take the heat on that. And I'm still, you know, got their back. I'm still, you know, haven't given up. You know, so there's many people that just take it. And, you know, I mean, you know, I'll take it, but, you know, I want to have conversations. I want to see constructive, moving forward types of things. So
No, that's okay. The third question I had for you all, which may be a city question, is when you have a situation where you have a landlord and they are licensed to rent here, but they have a challenging background or they have criminal whatever, like, do we have any rights there? And I know I don't expect you to be able to answer that, but that's a different that's like a third scenario I hadn't even considered.
I don't know if bad behavior is disqualifying from
Right.
owning a rental house.
I mean, right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, property rights are very, very hard to overcome.
And trust me, I'm a landlord myself,
Yeah.
so I completely understand, but I think there's some unique situations, right? I use the situation of, you know, you are protecting your own employees from this individual. I mean,
yeah,
you know, I've been.
That's why I'm curious.
I've been warned this, you know, as the last person walked out, the warning that I got was,
so
he hates you, and he just recently bought a gun, so.
Thank you.
And they felt compelled to come over and tell me about it.
why don't we do this? We could ask the city manager to check into that, whether or not anything is disqualified.
Right, and
And then also, I mean, do you have the address where you think there's a business operating out of the home? If you can find the house number, the address, send it on to me. I'll forward it on to the city manager's office. We'll take a look if there's something there.
Yeah, I did some deep dives there, and busy the Better Business Bureau and had flagged them for things.
That's all good, but we do have, as Councilmember D'Alessandro said, we do have requirements and running businesses out of homes, how that all works.
Okay.
So be happy to look into that.
They have some opportunity there.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you, Senior Schneider. Anyone else looking to speak to the council tonight? Nobody else in the council? James council? I would entertain a motion to adjourn our listening session. So
Second.
motion by Councilmember Loman, second by Councilmember Rivas to adjourn our council listening session. No further discussion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 7-0. We are adjourned. We'll see you downstairs. Thank you.